All right, what is up, people? How you guys doing? Welcome to Yakin with Yukon. Got a really good show for you guys tonight. Awesome toy hunter, awesome person is on deck. JB's toy trunk, and I think this is going to be a good one, guys. JB's an awesome guy. He does great work. If you haven't seen his channel, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, if you haven't liked his channel, if you haven't done any of that stuff, stop waiting and go and check out his content. He does a great job. He's had some awesome collabs with Man Cave Collectibles, Century TMC, Jersey Geek, tons of others. So absolutely stoked to have JB on, and he was gracious enough to reschedule with me. So that was awesome too. So, without any further ado, let's bring in JB and we'll get this thing rolling. JB, what's up, man? How you doing tonight?
What's up? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
If all of you guys once we start getting people, make sure
Yeah.
you
They're all late.
let us know. They're all late.
Yeah.
Mom, can you hear me okay? Okay, mom's giving me the
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I got you good too. So we're good, man.
All right.
So this show, you've probably seen these before. This is really more of a show just to get to know you better. You as a YouTuber, you as a toy collector, and that sort of thing. General Kenobi, what's up, man? How you doing tonight, buddy?
My
Good to
man.
have you on. So yeah, that's really the point, and we're gonna get to know you a little bit better. So I got a lot of questions for you, and we're gonna talk it out. So first things first, how long have you been collecting?
The first or the second time? That's
Well, you know what, you can tell us both times. Let's start with the
yeah,
first time.
and that's a great question. That's a great question. Thanks for asking because I get that a lot, and that kind of goes into how and why I started the channel. I'm a '70s kid. I'm a Star Wars kid. You know, seeing the trilogy in theaters as a kid and remembering it like it was like it was yesterday. Also remembering the original 12 back from the Star Wars Kenner. I remember that. I never ordered it, but I'm from that era, and then it goes all the way up till my teenage years as far as just continuing to collect, and you can see that in my room. I'm not at home now, but in my room when I do my videos I just have a little bit of everything, and that's what I carried on to where I'm at today. But from my teenage years is when I stopped, probably like right around 90, 89, 90, and then of course just I would say probably within the past 4 years of collecting now, like what we collect now in our videos.
Mhm.
And then before that, it was just collecting with my kids. My oldest was a Pokemon kid. So it started with Pokemon and then Transformers, Beast Wars and stuff like that. But as the dad, oh yeah, I remember Transformers, and I really didn't collect. And then
Right.
with my youngest, it was a lot of Batman, a lot of Iron Man, and we were MCU family, so we you always watching MCU movies, Iron Man, Captain America. So we started collecting with him, and again, it was collecting toys. No, not collectibles, but just toys for the kids and the boys. And in I want to say 2012, all of us were out at a Target and we found those Hot Wheel character cars.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, those are kind of cool. We love Hot Wheels. My oldest he's a gearhead. My oldest he was at a car show, I think, in a Cars and Coffee this weekend. So he's still into cars. And but back in 2012, we were all into Hot Wheels. And then of course we were into movies. And then of course the Hot Wheel and movie mesh was the Hot Wheel character cars. So that's when we started actually hunting and collecting something, that we see in our videos.
Right.
And then you just fast forward, I pick up a Star Wars, I pick up a this, and we pick up a Captain America, and it just evolves into a family collecting. But then to do what I'm doing now and what we all do on the YouTubes and Instagram, just the past couple of years. And so
Nice.
when I say I have about a 3 decade pause of collecting, it's not just saying that, it's true. You know.
Right. So what was it that got you out of collecting the first time? Was it just kind of growing out of it and
Yeah,
just kind
yeah.
of getting older and you're like, I'm not really into toys anymore and that sort of thing?
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Played football in high school, military brat, so we're always moving and always have to bring the collections with me. And then after a while, it's like I'm a little bit older. I don't need that. I don't need that whale. Yeah, I don't need that.
Right, right,
I don't need the Crimson Twins anymore. I don't need
right.
that. Yeah, the Millennium Falcon. I actually, my dad sold that years ago. My mom's looking at me right now. I sold that years ago at a garage sale because I don't need Star Wars no more because we
Right.
have Transformers.
There you go.
So over time, I just eventually got rid of it. And it was right around the teenage years, high school, playing football. And again, I get looks all the time, and I don't mind saying it because it's the truth. X Men, the X Men animated. Never seen it. I seen one episode.
No.
That's how
Wow.
old I am, and that's how much out of the, I guess you could say, the loop I was. And I'm not a comic book guy, so it wasn't my thing. TMNT Turtles, I knew what it was. My brother watched it, but I didn't collect TMNT. Ghostbusters, didn't collect any of that. So there was a hardcore time in there where I didn't collect anything. And then in '96, when my son was born, we're watching Barney. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go buy a Barney 6-inch Barney figure, and I'm not
Right.
doing any of that. I'm doing dad stuff. And then in the military, a lot, everybody knows I'm a veteran, so a good 21 years in the military. Not saying I couldn't collect, I just didn't. So
Right.
there's a big pause, and that's why like guys like you and guys like General Kenobi, Sentry, and Man Cave, and all the guys that we're fans of
Mhm.
over these past couple of years. I watch you guys. I was like, you know what? I think I might want to get that Black Series figure. I think that looks pretty cool. And then it just started snowballing from there.
One thing that I really like about your videos is, like you said, it's a family affair. You mention your family a lot. You mention your boys. You mention your wife. Your wife is probably a better toy hunter than 90% of us. She kills it, man. She finds everything. And it's like, I think that's really cool that you have them with you, and like your granddaughter. I love the Chewy thing that you do
Thank
with
you.
her. That's
Thank you.
fantastic, man. Like that was one thing when I first before we started talking, it's one thing that really caught my eye and my the just the sense that you have of your family and stuff, and including them in this thing. So I really think that's cool, man. I think that's a big kind of a big catch for a lot of people too. So um how
Yeah.
how how is your wife taken to this? Is she really into it, or is she kind of, because I know my wife just kind of deals with it and she's like, okay, well, if you got to go buy toys, go ahead. But
She,
your wife seems like she's really into it, which is really awesome, man.
she's actually in the comments right now. Hey babe.
Yeah, I just saw her. Nice.
I'm 6.5 hours away, guys. If you don't notice my toy room back there, guys watching, I'm in Virginia Beach with mom, and Marsha had to stay home because of work. But yeah, to go, back to how you were saying, it had to have been a family affair because when you do something that's out of the norm, and this is our family, not I'm not even preaching or anything. This is just our family. We like to do things together, and we like to collect together. So when we would look for, again, Hot Wheel character cars, Marsh would be like, "Hey, look, oh yeah, we need that," and then she's like, "Oh, you already got that," and the boys would help us look. So to answer your question about her, I guess, buy-in into this whole thing, she
Yeah,
loves it.
that's great.
The other guys always joke around to like, when's Marsha going to go to her own channel? It's like, well, she kind of does because half the stuff that I bring home, it's her haul. Maybe that's the next one. For Marsha's haul, we got
Marcia's
this.
all, she'll whip you in subs if you do that. You better watch it, man.
Well, I mean, I don't
She'll
care.
beat us all.
She
She'll
will
beat
beat
us
us
all.
all, and I think I
We
think
have no
that was a going
chance.
joke. It's like, yeah, she just crush it. Go ahead, do your thing.
That's
Quick.
awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. Let me catch up here in the chat a little bit. Let's welcome a few people. JMC Clicks. Guys, honestly, I talked to JMC couple times last week. I actually had a bad day the other day, and JMC messaged me personally on Instagram. Go check out JMC's channel right now and sub this man. He is a good man, and he's doing a great job.
Yep.
Really into the horror stuff. So if you guys are really digging that, you're really gonna like his channel a lot. I like the little spin he's put. So definitely catch up with
Right.
JMC if you guys haven't already. Legacy a nerd. Man, I know it's a rough day for you. RIP Jason David Frank. Horrible news. Hate to hear it,
Yeah. Yep.
and hopefully his family. Those are the ones that I'm really worried about. So hopefully everything goes okay there. Legacy, what's up? Nerd affiliated. Hey Archer, what's up, man? Rolando's always here. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Marsha, we already said hi to you, but hi again. All right. So I think we caught up. So again, if you guys have any questions for JB as we're going along, shoot them in the chat. We'll be sure we get to them.
Look
So
look at that.
we've kind of talked about your toy or your early toy days. Let's talk
Yeah,
about your YouTube. What like us all? I always ask this question because I always like the answer and the differences that people have to say. What got you into YouTube? What made you decide, hey, this is a good idea. I'm gonna go for
I was strong armed by other YouTubers.
it.
I was hunting for a good couple of years, and had more of a presence on Instagram.
Mhm.
And just how we do. We just go out and hunt.
Yep.
And for us in the Carolinas, Kent said it the best. Give Kent a follow too. Kent's an
Yeah,
awesome dude.
check out Camp Pool, guys. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think someone was kind of like joking in a way. It's like he is definitely the inventory checker for North Carolina. He knows where anything and everything's at. That guy's an animal. He hunts 100 times more than I do, and I know I hunt a lot. But watching Kent and then watching Man Cave and the other guys in the area, I was like, oh, those guys are finding things in North Carolina. Let me see if it could get to South Carolina. And then sure enough, within a day or two, it hits our area. So it's like, oh, cool. I end up going to the Charlotte area, and I messaged some other guys, and we just start talking. And these guys are like, "Hey, you got an Instagram?" It's like, "Yeah, it's private," and I'm just kind of hunting, kind of toying around with it.
Right.
And they said, "You know what? As much as you hunt, why don't you just give it a shot to see what happens on the channel?" I was like, "I don't want to do all that," and I gave it a good couple months before I actually went ahead and went in on it. With, of course, the blessing from Marsha and the boys and the granddaughter. I had to make sure that I had
Right.
her blessing on there, and we just said, "Hey, let's give it a try." And I think it was the first couple of videos that I put out, and it started to steamroll, and then got used to it. I got used to uploading, and you know how it is,
Mhm.
uploading into YouTube. Not so much the algorithm, but just the YouTube not wanting to let you upload as fast as you want it to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I started getting used to that, and then that's how it happened. So I got lucky. I know I did. I'm very fortunate. I'm the rookie on the block, and I say it like kind of in my intro all the time, and I'm never afraid to say it. But it's it's that the born collector, reborn into this collecting world. So I have all that history behind me. It's in my roots. It's in my soul of why I collect. It's to escape, the weirdness of the world,
Mhm.
and just to find happiness. And between me, my wife, and my boys, and my immediate friends, I found that happiness and joy. So I keep on doing it, and then here comes the videos, and which is just in a positive way. And of course, meeting guys like you, and you mentioned James C, and our other guys T3, and
T3. Give T3 a follow, guys.
Cyborg, yeah, all in General Kenobi. So it's like you get to meet people that are like you from so far away. So that's what I love about YouTube. I love about social media and internet. And then going back to my time in the military when it was just deployed, deployed, deployed. I have friends, and but we didn't, and we had commonalities, and we talked about movies more than anything because we couldn't bring action figures with us. We couldn't bring
Right.
comic books with us.
Yep.
But hey, what do you got on DVD? Oh, American Pie. Great. Let's watch American Pie again. It's just like,
For like the
what do you,
thousandth time. Yeah.
right. And it's
Right.
like, what do you got in there? We're watching Wedding Crashers
Yeah.
again. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, those are great movies and they're funny, but what's all, and you get bored and it gets old. But now with the technology and YouTube, I'm like, let's give it a try. So I appreciate
It's
everybody, who follows and subscribes. And again, just one view for me is awesome.
yeah.
And then, but the residual, I guess, if you were to say that, is meeting guys like you, meeting other collectors with the same like mind, and it's just awesome.
And it's funny you say that. So, like, I took a break from YouTube about a few months
Yeah,
in.
I
You
remember. Yeah.
commented on that, which I appreciate so much. Thank you for the
Oh
words.
yeah.
But when I came back, I watched you and Man Cave and Century and Jersey Geek. I watched your collab that you guys had. Honestly, probably one of the best videos I've watched all year, and that's not like me kissing your butt. That's the
Oh, I
honest truth. And
appreciate
then
it.
once I got back, I was like, this is exactly what I want. This is
Yeah.
exactly what I need. And from there, I was like, these guys have such a genuine connection with each other. And it's like you guys have been buddies forever and you just met online. You just met on YouTube and it was amazing. I was like, I really want to be a part of that. So I like started messaging you and
Yeah.
messaging
Yeah.
Century and messaging guys like this. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's exactly what I want it to be about. Forget the subs, forget the views, all
Yeah,
that stuff. So
yeah.
I'm really happy for you that you've made such great friends and gotten such a cool rapport with so many people. So that's fantastic, man.
Yeah, it's a really great thing, and you kind of hit that right there on the head as far as the likes and the subs, and
Mhm.
it, obviously we would want more and more people on our channel that gets it out there more, and it just keeps the ball rolling in a fun way. And I know sometimes it can get frustrating when we're like, oh, you did a good video, and it's like, oh man, I wish I had a couple more people watch it. But then for me,
Yeah,
it takes me like a second or two, and I start laughing. I'm like, man, it's plastic, it's rubber, it's die cast, and I'm having fun. I'm not going to get myself into that lull. It's like I need more subs, I need more views. It's gonna happen.
definitely.
When you put you out there, and some of us were messaging earlier today. It's like when you just put you out there, the genuine you, and not worry about what anyone else thinks. As long as it's, I'm not going to say good, as long as it's genuine, then
Mhm.
that's all you need to do. And
Absolutely.
yeah, you're doing great. Everybody that we've recently connected with over the past couple months, everyone's doing their thing. And I know James C. Collects. I'm looking over here in the comments. When he came hunting in South Carolina, and he now put it in the comments, James E. Collects. You found me that Elvira, I think. And for me, I was just like, that's all I ever wanted. And I think he messaged me when he's there and he found it. And it's what I'm getting at. It's we're helping each other out,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
we're
definitely.
we're, we're all, in my opinion, the way I look at it, we're all blown up collectively. We're all doing our thing together. And that's all I could ever ask for.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting great friendships in the process.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
let me catch up with the chat here just a little bit,
Sure.
guys. So let's see, where was I at? All right, so thanks for the love, JMC. Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
You're always going to get love on this show. Absolutely. Rolando. So Rolando, guys, if you guys haven't checked out Rolando Flores, his toy hunts are on Instagram. So be sure you go and you check out Rolando. Rolando, I see him on every single live stream I go on. So he is a beast when it comes to participation and being supportive of everybody. So guys, definitely check out Rolando.
yeah.
Nerd affiliated, thank you for your service. Yes, from me as well. Thank you for your service, JB.
Oh, I appreciate
Absolutely
it, guys.
fantastic.
It, the humbling experience, and thank you so much. It's
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I'm gonna butcher this name. Suo's Geek Vault. What's up, man? How you doing? I don't know if he's ever been. I've seen him in some chats, but I don't think he's ever been on the show. So welcome, welcome. All right, so sticking with YouTube a little bit.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody like JMC who's brand new? What advice would you give to a brand new YouTuber? What would you tell them? Say, this is what you need to know about YouTube. This is what you need to know about the community, and go.
Don't worry about the YouTube algorithm. it's
It's hard not
it's
to.
it's hard not to,
Yep.
but I guess it exists, but I don't have anything written down. I it just First, just don't worry about that. Second, put you out there. Put what you want to put out there. If you, like for me, I primarily hunt Star Wars Joes. The top, the top line. I don't go look for the new Super Mario Brother figures. If I find one, I'll put it out there. But just hunt for you and have people join you. But going back to the very beginning, man, don't worry about the subs and the likes. That'll come as long as it's genuine. I learned throughout my different professions that I've had in my life was sometimes when you sell you, people kind of buy into you. They want to see more of what you not so much have to offer, but they want to see that genuine in there. They want to see some personalization. They don't want to see the same thing from everybody because they could go to Yukon Phil's channel. Let's just watch his because every other toy hunter is doing what he's doing. No,
Right.
you have your unique way. I have mine, man. And all of the YouTubers out there that are hunting, we all have our unique way. But and then really the last thing that I learned from some of the bigger guys was try your best to put out quality because let's say it's your last video for a couple weeks and you have to go on a hiatus somewhere. If that's the last video and people want to check, Yukon Fill out or JB out or whatever, they want to see something good. They
Right.
don't want to just see toys and then hear a bunch of a bunch of background noise. And if
Yep.
you're not going to talk through your video, because I don't talk through everything, I at least try my best to keep the camera still, which I know I still have a problem with. But put some quality out there. Don't upload it in the worst quality. Don't rush it. Take your time with it, like a good meat. Let it marinate.
Mhm.
Like and that's why I slowed down from trying to do maybe 2 or 3 videos a week, into because of time and editing, into just maybe one, maybe two a week. And I'll do a couple hunts, and then I just edit it slowly, and then boom, on the weekend there it is. And I found that to be my recipe. I know Kent, he does his like either every day or every other day, just like Greg Cook, who's a phenomenal guy.
Every day, Monday through Friday.
Right, and but that's his system and that's his way. But
Right.
you'll find your niche, you'll find your way, and that's for I'm talking to myself all the time too. I have to remind myself, don't hurry it. Just be patient and put it out when it's ready.
Right, and I think your passion really needs to shine through too.
Yeah,
If you're kind of faking it and going through things and that sort of thing, it's going to come through. But if your passion really comes through on the
yeah,
camera,
yeah.
people really gravitate towards it. I know, like Kenobi. I
Oh yeah,
gravitate towards Kenobi because I can tell in his live streams, in his videos, how passionate that guy is. And besides, him and I are pretty good friends now, and we talk
yeah,
all the time. And it's like when you get a guy that's got all those things, you really gravitate towards it. But you've got to have somebody that's got the passion and is like, okay, yeah, this is a guy. G Force, what's up, man? Another good YouTuber, guys. If you haven't checked out G Force, go check him out. Another great toy hunter, super chill, super nice guy. Always telling everybody to be kind to each other at the end of his videos. So go check
yeah,
out G Force if you
yeah,
haven't already.
yeah.
All right, man. So let's see. Let me go back to my list of questions because I lost my spot here. Uh,
That's
okay.
good.
So
That's good. You have questions, because
I
if I
try to
would,
come prepared a little bit. I don't want to
that's
shoot from the hip completely.
that's been my problem throughout my careers. Plural is just like, hey, shoot from the hip.
Right, right. Every once in a while it works, but sometimes you gotta, be somewhat planned. So one thing I noticed about you, you find everything like a month before I do. And I don't know how you do it, but you find literally everything. At least maybe it's just the area you're in because you're on the East Coast and I'm
Wow.
in shoddy Oklahoma. Maybe that's why. But
No,
man, do you
it's
have any secrets or anything? Because I
yeah,
swear, like I just watched your
yeah,
short. You found that Chase Tie Fighter. I haven't seen that thing anywhere. The
yeah,
Rogue Squadron,
yeah.
the Rogue Squadron one. Yeah. So I mean, do you go off like a set schedule for your hunting, or do you just kind of do it, whenever you get free time?
I'm going to say it like I used to in the military, but I'm of course going to keep it PG because of my channel. Um, you get out the car and you stand on one foot. No, and then say a little prayer. No, you how should I put? Um, Sometimes I look at the stores I'm walking through, and I say, is this going to be the one? And then I'll say the two letters F and M. It's going to be freaking magic. And sometimes, brother, it just is what it is. I get
Yep.
lucky. When Okay, let's say we're playing the lottery. Let's say it's the big. Let's just say it's scratchers. Okay, if you play 100 scratchers, you're probably going to win something. That's
Absolutely.
just mathematically.
Yep.
So if I'm out there hunting a couple stores a day, I'm going to find something. That's usually what it is. Because of my work schedule, I can't get to the targets, before they, at 8 o'clock when they open in my area. So I'll hit maybe one or two Walmarts if I can. And then on the way home, I might hit one or two Targets. And I'm lucky because I have a couple Walmarts and a couple Targets in my area. And again, it's not like we don't have collectors in, South Carolina. We have a ton of collectors in South Carolina. We have a ton of collectors in North Carolina. It's just when I'm buying those scratchers, when I'm putting in that little extra time and work, that's how it happens. I don't use Pot Finder,
Okay.
or BrickSeek or none of that stuff. I used it one time, and it was for the Vipers.
No,
Back
you need it for that. Yeah,
what right,
you need it for that. Yep.
and Mark, Marsha's over there, Boomer Sooners.
Hey, way to go, Marsha. I like it. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
she's from the second biggest state in the Uh-oh, is that when she's gonna start cussing me out? She's from the second biggest state of the 50 states. Um, no, it just happens, you know? I get lucky,
Yeah.
I really do. I don't have too many collecting friends that actually, you know, because there's, you know, toy communities in our area. I'm not on any Facebook toy community.
Right.
I'm not on any Instagram toy community for our area. I do have 2 I would call good friends or buds now that we see each other collect all the time, but it's just those 2, and we collect different things. So earlier I found the Britt Baker, you know, the big Supreme Britt Baker.
Yep.
You know, that's up here. I found 6 of them. Like, hey, I don't collect a lot of wrestling, and I hit up my guys like, hey man, let me know if you need it. And that's the thing is it's if I buy it for a friend, it's like, here it is. It's retail. I'm buying it for you so you
Right.
can
You're
have
not
it because
trying to
you
scalp it or make
right,
money or anything like that.
right.
Yeah.
It here you
Yeah.
go, bud. And so yeah, that just my 2 buds. They we kind of look out, and we don't really collect a lot of the same, and that's it. Put in the time.
Yeah.
You got to go hunt it.
Do you ever talk to any of the stock people? Or I know that I used to do that. So when I used to live in Colorado, I used to have to do that, like with the Earthrise, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. I had a hell of a
Oh
time
yeah,
finding that, but I
yeah.
found it because I got buddies with one of the stock boys one day, and he held one for me. Do you do that every once in a while, or you just kind of go in and scope it out, and if they got it, they got it. If they don't, they don't.
I have a background in retail before, like while I was in the military. I actually had a part-time job in retail for a good couple of years, and before I joined the military, you know, I was a Foot Locker guy, so I know what a sought after item is. I know what
Absolutely.
people are going to come ask. I'm not saying that I always got irritated by that because that's my job. You know, you guys know I'm happy to help anybody. But I get kinda believe it or not, I get kinda shy to ask somebody if they have something, and
Yeah.
I'm just being honest,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is my other 2 guys, I got 1 guy, he's not shy. He's like, "Man, look, give me that DCPI, let's go find out." It's like,
Mhm.
"Alright." And he'll go ask, you know, someone that works, let's say, at Target, you know, "Hey, do they got this?" And I'm, like, over here on the side, like, kinda shy. "Hey,
I
man,
get it.
thanks for finding that for me," you know,
Right. Right.
so to answer your question, I really don't. I mean, I obviously know the people there because they see me there, you know, every other day, but I try not to bother them. I know
Yeah.
how tough of a job it is.
Yeah, I get that. And some actually, I've had some issues at Target where people actually they get upset. They're like, "We can't. No,
Yeah,
you're a collector. You're a hunter. No, we're
yeah,
not doing that. If it's on the floor, then fine. If it's not, you're kind of out of luck."
yeah.
It's like
Ma
with the classifieds. They're
oh,
not
yeah,
going to go look for classifieds for you.
no.
Yeah.
Major Blood was
Major
a
blood. Yep.
you know, everybody said it, I think, Century on his The Bloodbath, and, you know, the bloodbath of when was that? Was it
That was a couple
2022
years ago. I think that was
or
2020,
21?
20, maybe 2020. Well, I think it was,
I don't
yeah,
know.
2020. I think. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the bloodbath because that's when I would, you know, we were all, you know, all masked up, all trying to find a major
Right.
blood because, you know, the whole startup on, you know, eBay, it's a $30,000 figure. I'm like, get out of here. But is it really going to be the, you know, is it going to be the grail that we're all going to try to
You
find at
never know.
Target?
Yeah, you never
And
know.
you're right. You never know. Of course, that's when you get in fight with the Target team members and say, no, go
Mhm,
get it for me now.
mhm. Yep.
So yeah, yeah, I hate that.
So I'm glad you said the word grail because that was the next question. So, what is your ultimate grail? Forget price, forget any availability. What is your grail? That the one thing you're now. I saw you got the Galactus. That's got to be probably up there. Nice short, by the way. But what is
Thanks.
your ultimate grail?
Well, we were just at Toy Meister, me and mom, and she kept on asking on some of the older, you know, the older Star Wars things. So to answer your question, when it comes to line, it's going to come from the Star Wars line
Okay.
because it's going to, you know, something that, you know, her and I talk about all the time. She's like, Jason, she's like, oh, remember when you had this? Remember you had this? I was like, yes, mom, thank you. Um, so it's probably not going to be a Falcon. It's not going to be a big vehicle. It's probably going to go to a grail that I never had to begin with, and I'm thinking the Cantina set. You know, was it the Sears? Was it the Sears
Hmm.
Cantina? You know,
Cheers. Yep.
with the blue snaggletooth. And what's crazy is a couple months ago, Toy Meister had a blue snaggletooth at a pretty decent price. I left it. I went tonight and they don't have it, but I'm gonna go back again tomorrow morning to see if it's still there, check it out and stuff like that. So it's it's the taller snaggletooth, and that's the one thing I've never had and something that I think I want because there's Javas out there, there's Falcons, there's this and there's that. So when it comes to Star Wars, it'll come from somewhere in that Kenner world, the real vintage Kenner world.
Right. Right.
But what about you?
I don't even know, honestly. So I thought this is what I thought you were going to say. You said vintage Star Wars. I thought you were going to say the Death Star playset. No. Did you have
Not
that as a
even.
kid?
No, didn't
No.
have it. And I don't know why I quickly said no like that, but
Your wife said she
I,
told you to buy that.
she did. And if she knows how much it cost, I wasn't ready to drop that day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is, having the love and support of a crazy. I'm gonna say she's a toy collector as well. I mean,
That's great.
all of us know it. I know Man Cave and Zach Jack Dan. We've gotten to know each other over the past couple years. They know that Marsha is she's relentless. She's a beast.
Yeah.
Um, but so going back to the Death Star playset, I mean it'd be great. I mean I wouldn't say no, but I also looking at room,
Yeah.
you know,
Takes a lot of room.
takes a lot of room. So going, conversations that we've had over the past month on the Motu, Eternia playset. I wanted that. I told Marsha, I was like, "We're getting it." And she just looked at me and she was like, "It's like four by four or 3x4, whatever it is." And I was like, "We found them before in box, like again at Toy Meister, in box, pretty good condition." And she's like, "How much is that?" And I was like, "It's a couple. Yeah, it's up there. We're
Right.
talking K, with the K after it." And she's just looking at me. So when you get that opportunity to get one again, about what 555, I think it was,
Yeah, it was
or
550, I think. Yeah.
right.
I know Century
So
backed it.
yeah, exactly. And we've had those conversations on the side, and I was like, I'm so tempted, and he's like, do it, and it's like, well, he didn't say do it. He said he knows, and I believe in him that whoever gets it, they're not going to be disappointed, obviously. It,
Yeah. I
but
mean,
but
sorry.
displaying
Go
it.
ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Just displaying it. Where am I going
Right.
to put that?
Well, and he
You
made a
know?
lot of good points too. So when I first saw it, so I watched his video where he was kind of going over why he backed it. I thought it was just a complete reissue of the old vintage one. I didn't realize they upscaled it more and they included more, and it
Right.
had all these nice little bells and whistles. I thought it was just a
Right.
straight reissue, and like you said, I know that reissue goes for thousands because it was
Yeah.
just one of those late line Motu era that didn't get out, didn't get a lot of distribution, that sort of thing.
Right.
So I'm not super into Motu, but if I was, that would definitely be a piece I'd want. But again, I'm like you, I don't have the space for that thing at all.
Right,
So,
and
yeah.
I like how you said that, because like as I have a picture that I put up every now and then. I had, Snake Mountain and Gray Skull
Mhm.
together, and I, meticulously. I played with my toys, but at the same time, I meticulously put them back into its little dio setup and its little scene. Uh, you know, After that, I really didn't continue into the Motu world. Like the new Motu Origins figures, like Stunman, and they look great, and
Yeah.
Pigman. I don't know that, but it ended right before as Eternia was coming out. I seen it and I was like, I don't need it. It's too big. It's too
Mhm.
expensive. And I was already on to probably like GI Joe or Transformers or something
Right.
else.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let me get back
but
to the chat real quick. All
sure.
right. So let's see. Where did I leave off here? Okay. Kenobi, you don't get shy. Don't lie, man. You that guy's not shy at all, dude. You're so full of it. Zero's Geek Ball, you're not shy, man. I wish I'm gonna have to watch more of his. I need to sub to him, guys. If you haven't subbed to him, please go for that. Rolando, you love toy hunting, looking for others. Absolutely, man. I mean, if we can help each other out, I know Jeff and I, So Jeff McElway, welcome to the chat. He's been trying to get me down to Texas. I go down to Texas every once in a while, and stuff. But he's been trying to get me down there, and he's kind of buddies with Cincy Nerd and Josh Pence and guys like that. And I'm like, I'm gonna
Big
have to
time.
take him up on that one day. But he's
Yeah.
always looking out. Him and I we frequent the Edmond, Oklahoma Walmart, so we try to look
Okay.
out for each other a little bit and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So that's cool for sure.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what else.
at old North
Rolando,
Texas.
Rolando has the Death Star. Rolando, put in the
What?
chat, how long have you had the Death Star for, and where did you get it, and how much did you pay for it?
Also, if you can, put a picture on your Instagram
Yeah,
so we can
put a
check
pic.
it
Yeah,
out
yeah,
later.
yeah. Put a picture. You got to prove it, man.
Oh yeah. Hey,
You
he
got to
said
prove
it,
it.
not me. I
Yeah.
believe you, but
Uh, so Kenobi says he still hates listening to himself, and he doesn't like. I know him and I talked about this before. He doesn't like the way he looks on camera. I was the
oh
same
come
way.
on.
That's why I started out with the stupid cowboy hat and the mask and all that crap, because I did some test shots and I was like, "This, who's gonna want to watch this? This is horrible." So, and then after a while, it's like, who cares? Just do what you want. And it's like we talked about before. If you can see the passion come through,
Yeah.
it's not going to matter if you
Well,
think it looks good or not. The
right.
people are going to know it looks good. So,
When you see when you think about that, you're like, oh, it's like, look, when you see these famous people as collectors, these famous athletes, and these famous superstars, and these people that's like all walks of life collect.
mhm.
And so that's where I start thinking, I'm just like them. And then at the same time, be proud and of who you are and do what you got to do. Just go out there and do it, because if people don't want to see my ugly face, they are not going to subscribe. so
Right, right,
so I'm
right.
not saying I have, X amount of subs that like looking at me. Hopefully they're just looking at the content and then hearing my weird antics. But yeah, don't worry about it,
Well, it's
man.
your antics that make it interesting, man. It's like there's nothing worse than watching somebody that's just very monotone and boring. It's like when you get excited, because I get this rush of energy anytime I find something I'm looking for. I know you do too. It's like
Yeah,
you want that to be on camera. You want the
yeah,
audience to feel that, and absolutely, man.
yeah. Let me look real quick. There was someone put in a recent comment on my last video, and I started laughing at it. I was like, wow, that's funny because he was. I say I don't. I take everything laughable because again, it's I'm having fun. If someone wants to kind of point their finger at me or correct me or say I'm this. Oh, one of my first comments, the guy says, "What are you 12?" And I started laughing. Like, so what, man? Why are you judging?
I'm glad you brought that up. That was actually
Okay,
my next question. I
no,
asked Sentry this, and Sentry he was
yeah,
very coy about it and cool. But
I loved
um,
his response. I watched it. I loved his response. Go ahead.
how do you handle those kind of comments? Do you just laugh it off, or see? I know sometimes I fire back a little bit. Like
I
it's like, okay, if you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to set you straight a bit. I'm not going to get in a
Yeah.
fight with you, but how do you handle those, negative comments or questionable comments?
It's, Marsha, if she's still on, she could. Well, Marsha, don't say nothing. But um, we talk about it and we kind of take a step back and we either not saying get upset, but we kind of like raise our eyebrow with a little bit of like a what, and then of course some of them like the one tonight and the one who asked me if I was 12. Yeah, exactly what you just said there in the
We
comments.
laugh
We
at
just
those.
laugh. We laugh. Now, when there's something, I'm gonna say inappropriate, and again, I'm not trying to be the PC police, but because of my, I guess you could say most of my audience, I have young collectors. I've met actual like teenage collectors they're like, me and Marsha could tell it was a great thing. She goes, that little boy knows you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he just
Oh yeah.
comes up to me. He's like, hey, aren't you JB? And I watch your videos. Like,
Oh
cool.
yeah.
So I got to make sure that I keep it on the level. So if I see an inappropriate comment, I usually just go straight and delete it because I don't need young collectors that are going to be doing what we're doing in a couple of years to keep that up. And we want to keep it positive. So the negative ones I delete. Obviously the spam ones I'll block, and then the ones that are laughable, like what are you 12? I laugh and just I give them a like. Thanks, buddy.
I mean,
A
that's
few
all you
years,
can really do. You
yeah,
got to just kind of.
yeah.
Marcia said you've also gotten one that says horrible mustache.
That one was one of the first, and Jersey says it the best. He he just looked at me. He's like, horrible mustache. I'm like, horrible mustache. Because when you read the comment and you're trying to, that's the thing, the keyboard warrior, it's like, how are they meaning it? Are they like saying like
Right.
horrible mustache or like horrible mustache or like, dude, you got a horrible
Yeah.
mustache.
Yeah.
So Jersey, he just goes right in on. He's like horrible mustache.
Have you ever had one that was just like totally out of line and you were just
Oh, a
like,
mustache? Yes. I'm
no,
kidding.
no, not not a mustache. No, a comment. Have you ever had a comment you're like, that's
Oh,
totally out of line. I'm just deleting that. We're not even going to
that
respond to that.
last week or the week before, it was like way. I'm like, dude, I'm not even playing with this guy. It went straight to delete, and I was gonna screenshot it and send it out to some of my friends. I was like, it's not even worth it because it was, we're in 2022, and again, not trying to be. I don't understand some of the words that we're using in 2022, but basically, if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm gonna delete it, and it was wrong. And I was like, dude, I couldn't believe that I saw what this person said on my channel. But then again, I look back on why I do this and why I collect and why I try to collect toys is to avoid that stuff. And here it is. It's gonna rear its ugly head into your feed and my feed and on Instagram every now and then. And
Yeah.
last week or the week before was the one. I'm like, dude, and it got me really upset. Like I was furious. But at the same time, quick delete, and I was like, it's all over again.
Right.
Just it's gone. She
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, you just gotta roll it off. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
the thing is it's one bad one for every, like, 10,000 good ones, so it's like, it's not even worth, really getting into it.
yeah.
GeForce. So, GeForce, the only one that bugged me was when somebody said, "Old dude should be collecting wrestling." Junior, I was watching wrestling. You were a glimmer in your daddy's eyes.
Let me read that one.
So it's the second to last one,
Yeah,
the
I
G,
see it
yeah.
now. Yeah, yeah.
And
That's one that Marsha doesn't like me doing is collecting wrestling. So
oh, is there a reason for that?
yeah, because we collect way too much.
Oh, you just don't wanna get another line.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is she knows, when we were stationed in a couple of the, the northern states, and you know what it means when you're in like either the Midwest or the North in wrestling,
Oh, it's
it's
big.
hardcore,
Yeah.
it's big,
Yep.
and we'd go to some of the smaller matches, the matches in the hotel rooms and stuff like that. Wrestling is the thing, and I told her me and my brother actually at Toy Monster, me and mom were talking about it. She would look at some of the LJN, the Hogan. She's like, "Your brother had that." I was like, "I know, mom." And then Hillbilly Jim. She's like, "Your brother had that." I know. And then she looks at me, and then I'm thinking of Marsha. Marsha would just kill me if I just started bringing home some
Right.
LJN wrestling or anything like that. Because we just, it's primarily Star Wars and GI Joe, Marvel, and Motu, and Hot Wheels.
That's another good segue into the
It
next
just
question. So, what is your favorite line that you're into right now?
Okay, so outside of because right now Star Wars is not even my favorite right
You and
now.
I are on the same page.
Because
Star
I
Wars.
mean I love your setup. I love obviously General Kenobi. I mean, you think he's in the Star Wars?
No,
You think that guy's in the Star Wars, but um, it's a hard it's a hard time to be a Star Wars collector right now,
very much so.
and so, even though I do enjoy it, I know when the other Andor figures are coming out, I'm probably gonna skip most of them.
Mhm.
So GI Joe was fun for a little bit, and I'm still gonna collect GI Joe. Honestly, right now, NECA.
Okay.
Um, NECA has been interesting and fun when I got the TMNT monster, Universal Monster. The mashup.
Yep. Yep.
When you take those figures out and you're looking at the price point of that, and you look at the price point of a deluxe Star Wars Black Series, and I love your how you divorced Hasbro a couple times.
It's
you know,
still they're still hanging around a little bit, man. I'm
yeah,
trying to get out, but
he's like, why you? I told you we're done.
it's weird.
We're
I
done.
need a restraining order or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
or just block the site or something.
Right. Right.
But NECA's pretty dope. We got a lot of our NECA horror figures. Just one of each, like a one Hellraiser. We got
Mhm.
one Jason, and so now that we got some of those Universal monsters, but the NECA usually puts out a pretty good product, and they got the accessories to go along with it, like the um, American Werewolf in London. The
Yeah,
actual
that's a
werewolf.
good set. That's a good set.
That's a great set when
Mhm.
you set it up. And shout out to Laura. She when I first started collecting it, one of our followers, I know for a lot of us, she how do you say it? We were going back and forth on it. It's such a great little scene and set that you could have with that. And then that's when I really started looking at NECA even more. But I can't go all in on all the NECA, just just the onesies and twosies. What about you?
Well, so actually, I've been getting into Super 7 a lot. The
Yeah,
TMNT Super 7s are great, man.
yeah,
I think they're
yeah,
really, and I've been finding them for like $30 each on Amazon. So it's
yeah.
like, absolutely. I actually just got Bebop and Splinter down here that I
Let's
haven't
see it.
opened yet. Well, here,
Oh,
let me. No, that's
there you
cool.
go.
We haven't
All right,
done an
very good.
unboxing on this channel. Let's do it. I don't
Well,
even know
don't
which one
unbox
this
it. I just
is.
You don't have to do
Let's
all
see what
that.
we got. All right, let me crack it open. But these, so have you tracked down the NECA Secret of the Use Shredder?
I've been looking for that, and not
The
for me. I'm
thing
just trying.
is legit, man. I'm telling you. So this is Bebop.
There you go.
So go ahead. I'll crack this open while you're talking.
No, I've been looking for that because I know a couple friends that are looking for that. I just want to see it in person. I had the first movie. I had pretty much the whole wave, and reluctantly got rid of it. Again, my tie with TMNT, the actual TMNT movie, is there. Me and my brother watched the bootleg version of it, like I don't know, countless times. But again,
Right.
I'm not a TMNT collector, so I said someone else wanted it more than me. So I I gave him an awesome deal in my opinion, and he's enjoying it, and I'm enjoying him enjoying it.
I
Um,
still can't find those. I can't find the
really?
original. No, I can't find those, and I can't find the Secret of the Used ones either. It's like
Yeah,
I ran into Raphael and Michelangelo, excuse me, the other day, but I've already got Raph. So I was going to pay $60 for
yeah,
Michelangelo, and then
yeah.
everything online is bootlegs from
No,
Japan.
don't because
Not going to do
Wal-
it.
Walmart has them. I mean, again, I'm not saying because like the thing, if I were to pick it up for you and ship it to you, that's almost like you could find it maybe cheaper.
Yeah, for some
You
reason
know what
they
I mean?
just
With the
fly in
shipping,
my area. Like I mean, Jeff can probably back me up on this. My area, like I live just about 3 minutes from a Walmart. The thing is crushed all the time. I never find
yeah,
anything. But if I
yeah,
go into Yukon, which is about 15 minutes from me, that's where I found the shredder.
yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, if you find it, highly recommend it for sure.
Okay.
It's
No, yeah,
really good.
I hear you.
So here's
I hear
Bebop.
you.
Let me turn it the right way. It's an
There
older
it
figure,
is.
but again, I mean,
That's a good one.
it's
Yep.
got a bad glare. But for $30, guys, it's
Yeah.
legit. All of them are great. It's my favorite new line. I don't know if I'll get into the Transformers because they don't transform. And I think they look a
Yes.
little, the heads are big and that sort of thing. There's the back of the box.
Yeah.
But honestly, guys, if you are thinking about getting into some of the older Super Sevens, definitely go on Amazon and check them out. $27 for Shredder, 28 for Splinter.
Yep.
So definitely a good deal.
Yeah, you could be patient with those because I see flash
Yeah.
up sales all the time on that.
Yeah.
And I was at Heroes and Dragons right there in Columbia, South Carolina, and um they had the most recent waves of the Super 7, TMNT Super 7, the cat and a couple of the other figures and
Mhm.
everything. They look amazing. So outside of NECA, yeah, you're right. Super 7, Ultimate Super 7, they're amazing. I have 3. I have the 2 Conan figures,
Okay.
and, I got an actual glow in the dark Toxie.
Oh,
Toxic Aven
nice.
Yeah, Toxic Avenger is
Nice.
one of my favorite, um, Tromaville, movies, and again, it's a glow in the dark, and I'm a gimmick kid, and I love the glow in the dark setup. I have blacklight pops, and I have gimmick glow in the dark figures, but to me, that's just that was my thing. It's like, "Oh, there's something special about that figure. Let me grab that."
Mhm.
And I love it, a little bit of lighting, a little bit of a black light, a little bit of a, LED light on it, and it's just like, boom. It's cool to look at, it's cool to just
Yeah, Super Seven's got some good ones too.
yeah.
They got Mutagen Man,
Yep.
who is glow in the dark. They got Baxter Stockman. That one's gone
Yeah.
up quite a bit, I think, though. And then I know
Yeah.
Sentry when he was at NYCC Comic Con, he picked up the glow in the dark Muck Man, which
Yeah.
I would be interested to compare that one and the NECA one and
Yeah.
see which one's better. The only thing that I've had problems with, I don't know, you can tell me if you've had problems with this, QC issues with NECA. Like my shredder, he's over there. I'm not going to go get him, but one of his blades
Oh,
up
really?
here on the top's already broke off, and it was like that
Oh,
in the
wow.
package. My original shredder, he's missing 2 of the shoulder blades. So that's
Really?
like the only problem I really the sculpts are fantastic, but the QC I've had problems with. Have you had any problems with their
I,
QC?
I've had one, and it wasn't really an issue. It was just like a little bit of a heating issue with the the McCready figure.
Okay.
His head was popping off. It was a little loose, and got that situated in there. But oh, you know what? Backtrack. Yeah, that I had 2 McCready figures, though. The first one I bought, I was just kinda moving his arm, and it just quickly snapped off. I mean, I didn't feel no
Yeah.
tension, and it snapped off, and then the second one, the head was kinda loose. So, yeah, I can see that, but with my other NECA figures, I guess because of their track history, I've treated them a little bit more, kindness, I
I
don't
mean, it's
just
almost like a hot toy. You got to be
yeah,
careful.
yeah,
Careful with that.
yeah.
Speaking of hot toys, do you have any hot toys? I actually don't think you. I don't know if I've seen hot toys in your collection.
Almost almost choked up there because we're waiting, Marsh and I are waiting on a Ahsoka Grogu hot toy that we
Mm,
pre-ordered. I think
nice.
we ordered that before Mandalorian show even came out. That's what
Okay.
it feels like.
Is that your first one?
That'll be the first one.
Nice.
And we told each other, because we actually look at some of like the Iron Man hot toys, and that they look so great. And when we get them, it's just going to be a onesie and twosie. Obviously, we got one we ordered, 2 years ago. So I think one a year tops, and it'll go into a different room or a different part of the house. So to answer your question, we would love to have them. They look great, but I don't know, just not yet. I can't get.
Price
What about
point's
you?
tough. Price point.
Price
So
point
you
is tough.
price point's tough. I actually sold all my Black Series last summer.
Mhm.
Got about 9 hot toys, Star Wars, had Qui-Gon, had Commander Cody, had all these, but man,
Wow,
I mean, it was just
mom.
tough to have, like, that's it, because that was, like, my whole collection was just 9 hot toys. It's like, they're so fragile, so word
Mhm.
of warning, they are very fragile, so,
Right.
I almost broke Commander Cody's little, antenna thing he's got on his shoulder. So, yeah, I mean, they're good, but are they worth 350? I mean, it's really up to you. It's really up to you on what you think
Right.
and how that goes. So, they're okay, but I can't see the guys that really impress me is like Jetta Patrol. Like he's got a million of those things, man, and it's very impressive.
Marcia said hi.
So yeah, I mean,
No,
I
so there you
recommend them
go, mom.
if you can afford them, man, definitely. JMC,
I
I know he's big into hot toys. He's got a bunch. So
I think isn't that all Jetta collects are Hot Toys?
no, he's got Black Series too, and I don't know if he's got Marvel Legends, but I know he had a good Black Series
Yeah.
display a while ago. But he moved and he's got a new studio, and I haven't really caught up with him too much lately. He just reviewed the Bo-Katan, which looks pretty cool. But again,
Right.
you know,
Let me get mom.
fragile.
You good? Okay. This is awesome because she is like the biggest fan of all of us guys.
That's
So yeah,
great, man.
she,
That's
I
great.
show her the channels and she just clicks it. Okay. Um, I think I was talking with Man Cave about Hot Toys, and when you look at the price at that, and then divide that up. I guess, well, maybe 3 years ago, one hot toy was a lot of Marvel Legends.
Mhm.
It seems
Not
like
anymore.
not anymore. It's like one hot toy equals half of a Jawa, Black Series Jawa, and
Right.
and like the
Yeah.
other half of a Spider-Man.
Yep.
It's ridiculous, man. But
I was gonna get your thoughts on that. I was gonna get your thoughts on where I mean, you already know me. I was gonna
yeah,
get your thoughts on Hasbro. Has what the I'll say crap. That's probably good. Has the crap they've been pulling with everything, has that been affecting your buying habits with Hasbro, or are you
oh yeah.
not so much?
No, no, as the new guy on the block, as the guy coming into this, I'm like, me and Marsha were talking, yeah, we could do a couple figures here and there. And then even with the Mandalorian Black series, I love them so much because I love that show so much. And really that was the show that kind of pushed me to getting
Yeah.
back into collecting action figures. I did too. I had a guy at work, and he collects, and he's like, "Yeah, man, a lot of collectors they do too. One out of box, one in box." I'm like, oh, "I love it because with the Black Series, murals on the side, I'm
Hmm.
like, man, that looks so great."
Hmm.
And if you see in my videos, you'll see the boxes with the mural and of course the figure in front. There's an actual those are actually full boxes. Not anymore. There's no way. I cannot do two. It's just ridiculous. And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's just being realistic. You can't do that forever. And then, they add $2 here, $2 here, $2
Mhm.
here. I started to do that with Joe's as well, classified, because I didn't know how far I was going to go into classified, and I had to cut that off too. Um, I wanted to be a completionist with Black Series, but I ended up not. I just can't. I
They made
just
it
can't.
so hard too with the
Yeah,
exclusives and
yeah,
all this other stuff. Like I don't know if you saw the carbonized TIE fighter and Royal Guard. Like
yeah,
$70. I
yeah,
mean, that's for two old figures. Those figures are 5, 6 years old, and it's like
yeah,
to be a completionist, I take my hat off to anybody who can do it. But
yeah.
I used to be one too with Black Series, but not anymore. I
No,
mean, it's few and far between.
again, going to the whole gimmick thing with the carbonized, I thought it was kind of cool. I have a few carbonized figures, but it's from the ones that I enjoy. Like a Boba Fett or a Mandalorian. But I can't get into that $70 for two figures
Yeah,
right now on the carbonized side.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy. Yep. All right, I got one more question for you. And if you guys in the chat have any other questions, let's catch up a little bit here. Okay, so hot toys. Yes, JMC. I know you're into hot toys, man. He's got quite a few. How many hot toys do you have, JMC? Put it in the chat. Let us know. Jed is wealthy. Well, I would. I kind of figure he was seeing his collection. And then G4 says, I think I'd rather have 10 6-inch figures than one hot toy.
yeah,
Money and space definitely play a factor. I can see that. I can
yeah,
definitely see that.
yeah. That it just being real. I mean, most of us just can't afford hot toys and Black Series and
Mhm.
actual vintage Kenner and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm gonna move mom out of the picture. Kind
She's good,
of.
man. You're good. Don't even worry about it. All right. I think I had one more. Let me take one more look here.
Well,
Okay.
I think I saw one. Where was it at?
Yeah.
From Jeff talking about Mayfix and Mezco.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Again, great lines there too.
Mhm.
They're up
They're
there in
getting
price,
pricey.
but yeah, they are pricey.
Yeah, I have Mafex. I had those Boba Fett's for quite a while till they re-released them, but those things shot up to like 350 for a while, and I actually sold them when they were, but
Yeah.
now they've re-released. But the problem with those I've noticed too, they're slightly like Hot Toys where they're a little more fragile than say like a Black Series. So you got to
Hmm.
be careful. You can't
Right.
mess
Yeah.
with the hoses too much on
Yeah.
Boba Fett's arm and that sort of thing. So
But it's that higher end collectible.
definitely,
You're
definitely.
paying for you're paying a good price for it, but it's nice. That's
Yeah.
really nice.
Super nice. I mean, their sculpts are phenomenal. The articulation's great. SH Figure Arts, same thing.
Mhm.
Really good figures, but gotten expensive, man. Really expensive.
Yeah, but that's everything, and I'm not, trying to justify that, but we know eventually it's going to go up. I think Zach Jack Dan do it. I think we or might have been Man Cave. Where you're looking at the inflation. When you look at the inflation that we as Americans have gone through, um, it's just inevitable. So prices of toys are going
Right.
to go up as
Right.
well. But it's like it's not really consistent with everything else. Now, does that go into shipping costs, actual production, paying the actual workers who are making it? We don't know. But
Yeah.
31 dollars for a uh, Marvel Legends Spider-Man Target exclusive with no window. That's no.
Yeah. It's too
That's
much.
no. That's
It's
way
too
too
much.
much.
I think in Hasbro's case, a lot of it is so they have a new CEO,
Mhm.
and his goal is within the next 3 years to increase their profit margin by 50%. So I think you might know where the increases are
Yeah,
coming from
yeah, yeah.
and that sort of thing. But it's actually been the complete reverse effect for them. I think I kind of try to keep up on their stocks and stuff just because I think it's interesting.
Mhm.
But their stocks have gone down consecutive quarters now. And it's
Mm,
like the reverse effect. People are getting upset. Obviously, you're always going to have more people buying that aren't upset than
mhm.
that are. But I think it is affecting them a little bit. So we'll see if they maybe go back
Right.
Usually if you hit a company, especially a big company like Hasbro in the wallet, they're like, okay, let's maybe tone back a little bit of this. Let's go back to the plastic windows, or
Right.
let's make distribution a little better, so one of those sort of things. So
Let's
yeah.
go back to the plastic windows, and
Yeah.
it because I mean there's already people that we know, that
Mhm.
I'm not buying that. Why? I
Yep.
can't see the figure. I'm not
Yep.
going to spend $31 on a box.
Right. And you got to examine those boxes really carefully too. I've run into some at Target where there's just a
Oh yeah,
little bit of a mess up with the tape. You're like, I don't know what's in there. I'm not taking that $32 gamble,
it's it's
So
it's horrible.
it's crazy. So, another question for you. Who are your three? Now, this doesn't even have to be toy hunter related. Who are your three favorite YouTubers right now, and why are they your favorite YouTubers?
That is a great question. I'm not going to say it's a loaded question.
It is a little.
Um, and I could easily say, um, my friends that I've
Mhm.
become friends with, really close with, and if you guys don't know, it's Man Cave, Zach Jack Dan, Mr. Fantastic, Century the Mad Collector, and of course Jersey Geek. Those guys over the past couple years I've become really good friends with, and it's like almost family now.
Right.
Which is a great thing. So outside of those guys, um, I love me some Greg Cook.
Mhm.
Mr. Greg Cook is someone who I've watched before even those guys, and his photography and the way he approaches um, just toy hunting, and the way when he signs off, it's like toys refreshes the soul or something like that, and that's
Yeah.
just awesome. Outside of the collecting world, there's a guy that does he does the top 10 things you didn't know about this movie, Minty Collectibles or something like that. I can't remember his name, but
Mhm.
and it's interesting to me because I'm more of a movie guy. I'm not a comic guy, and I was into cartoons as a younger kid, but I love movies. I love trash movies. I love great movies. I love any movie. And when find those little Easter eggs, when they point them out, it's kind of interesting to me. So, and I don't really know if there's another one. I'm sure there is, but I watch a little bit of everything. Toy hunting, obviously, reviews, and then movie reviews. Oh, Chris Stuckman, he's another movie review guy.
Okay.
Honestly, I think I watch more movie review, and Easter egg, like new Rockstar type stuff,
Right.
than toy. What about you?
So the one that got me going in the whole toy thing was Cincy Nerd. Yeah, I've watched
Oh
him
yeah,
from day
oh
one.
yeah,
I've watched every
oh
one of
yeah,
his videos. I don't think I've missed one. He's gotten pretty big time. And Greg Cook. Honestly, Greg Cook was a big
yeah.
inspiration. And then, obviously now I play a lot of softball too, so I watch,
Okay,
bat reviews and things like
Sh-
that and that sort of
sure.
thing. See what
Sure.
bat's the best if I
Double wall,
right, right,
what's the new
composite, all
ball
those
coming
things.
out? Yeah. How
Right,
many
right,
how many hits does this one have?
right,
Yeah. Gotta
right.
break this one in, and
And then
oh yeah.
Marsha hit the
Yeah.
nail on the head with another one. Foosh. Robo's the
He
man. I love Robo.
Robo,
Robo
yeah.
does. He is to me the best toy reviewer on the internet. I think he's the best because he not only is he very informative, but like he's funny about it. Like
Yeah.
the
He's
legalese
real.
and blah. All
He's
that.
real about it. Yeah.
He
He's
is.
real. He's like, and I
He
love
is.
that sometimes he's like, guys, we're talking toys.
Right.
It's
It's a toy.
because he's right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
he's right. Since he's great.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is most of our community, we have some good dudes and good dudes and good dudettes, out
Yeah.
there, crushing it on these
There's
channels.
honestly not really one toy hunter I have anything bad to say about. There was this one guy. I don't know if you saw this. Don't even remember his name, but he did this like stupid list. He was trying to put himself on the map, I think. He did this list where he did the best toy hunter
Yeah,
or the best
yeah.
toy reviewers and the worst, and it was like, dude's got like 600 subs. I mean,
Well,
you
I
know,
mean,
it's fine if it's your opinion, but a lot of people took it personally.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like, well, this guy, I mean, everybody's probably got their list who the best toy reviewer, the best toy owner is, and that's fine, but it
And,
just seemed
and
a
it-
little odd to
yeah,
me.
and going back to like kind of like how I was saying, it's like if people are gonna watch you, they're not gonna watch you. There's
Right.
there's some hunters out there that I definitely don't watch, and it's not so much, it's there's many reasons why. It's not like I don't wish them success. It's like, hey, good luck to you, man. But I'm probably going to concentrate and watch who I want to watch.
Right.
And while I'm watching, I'm picking up a few tips here and there, and might might
Exactly.
might change something up.
Exactly.
But again, keeping it me. I'm not gonna um, try to copycat. And people say, "Oh, so and so is a copycat." I don't know really who else has my granddaughter's Chewy drop, so
No.
no one could copycat that.
I mean,
If
there's
I'm
always
doing
gonna be a little bit of
horrible
copycatting.
mustache, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
There's always gonna be a little bit of copycat because how much different can you make a toy hunt? You
well,
can't
that's
make
yeah,
it super different. There's not
right,
gonna be a new variant of it every single time.
yeah. It's like,
You're showing toys.
they always seem to start with Hot Wheels. Maybe I'll start with
Right. Start with
Lego. I'll start
Lego
with
or
Lego first. Yeah,
Star Wars or whatever. Change it up. Maybe go to the NECA section first instead of going to the Star Wars section or
oh, oh,
that sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I could do this, but this would probably be like complete channel destruction. I'll start with my haul first,
Hey, there
and
you
then do the
well,
like,
now
dude.
now your
It's like,
duration time went down to about 30 seconds.
yeah, it's like, yeah, they watched 1 minute of your video. There you go.
Right, right,
But yeah,
right.
a lot of great dudes out there. Foosh, Cincy, definitely. All of us, all of us. I guess you could say all of us newcomers. I love seeing what we got out there, and seeing how we all kind of learn from each other, and push each other
Absolutely.
to make our content better. Because that's what it's putting content out there. It's my appreciation for people joining. Like I was saying, enjoying the ride in life, enjoying the ride with me, and my antics and my toy hunts, and hopefully, which it has, and I'm sure all of us, and if not now, soon, guys, guys and girls hitting me up. Hey, JB, thanks for finding that for me. Hey, no problem. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put that news out there because you can't do it. I don't think any of us. Well, there's a few of us can, but everything we're hunting, we can't just go buy and say, I found this and I'm buying this. Hey, I found this at this store. If you're in my area, go check it out.
Right, right.
Toy hunting.
Exactly, exactly.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, that's it. If you guys, like I said, I don't think there's any more questions. Let's run through it real quick before I've got one more thing for you. Then I'll let you go. Um, so head sculpts on toys. I totally agree. The head sculpts on the hot toys are phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
Qui-Gon I had, I mean, it looked just like Liam Neeson. Absolutely fantastic.
Mm.
Definitely. And then Jeff. Oh yeah. So if you guys don't know, Cincy, Narc. Narc's
Yep.
another good one. If you guys haven't
Oh yeah.
checked out Narc,
They're
go
all
check out
man.
Craig. Craig's awesome. They did a movie called Retro Freaks. So if you
Right.
guys, I think there's a certain way you'd have to go to Cincy or Narc's channel to find out, but they did it. And if Jeff, if you have any information, put it in the chat.
Yeah. Please put
Did
it
a
in the
movie
chat.
called Retro Freaks. So if you guys want to check that out, go for it. I think it's like a hobby horror sort of thing. So yeah, go check it out. Kenobi, thanks for showing, man. I will see you on Wednesday in your stream, buddy. Have a good
That's
night.
awesome.
And just right, hard to be different when all the 20s point a camera at shelves and knowing what you're talking about and spending money. He's got a point. Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
um
Comedy horror. There we go. Comedy
yes,
horror for
and
retro freaks.
those guys are crushing. I love that collective group,
Yeah,
and what
yeah,
they're doing, because that's so interesting to me. It's like to be actors and to be kind of doing what we watched as kids. It's like playing pretend, but now with the tech that we have, and obviously the genius minds they got behind it. That's just great. And I want to celebrate all of that together. It's awesome to see those guys do that.
well, it was smart of them too. So they got a platform
Yeah,
now, and
yeah,
you're like, okay,
absolutely.
we have a lot of followers, we have a lot of subs, we can put this out. If
Try
they
it
had
out.
done this 6 years ago, nobody would have probably, seen it or anything.
Right,
So
right.
all right, man. Well, I'm
Yeah,
going to give you the
hey,
opportunity to just kind of give me what you're doing, what's coming ahead, what you're looking forward to, and maybe if you have anything new coming in the coming year and that sort of thing. So the stage is yours, my friend.
well, I appreciate that. Nothing really to plug other than the normal, but I am working on some lists. I think on the last live stream I was on, we kind of dropped it in there. So I don't want to do the same top five or top 10 or whatever. I want to do some of those, but I'm going to come up with some lists as the year's coming to an end. outside of just regular toy hunts. I really want to get into action figure reviews. I mean, you do them and they're great, and a lot of us do. I, again, just the platform and my space. So I'm still learning how to
Yeah.
really do that. So I'll be working on that. And as far as let's say this week, I'm back home in Virginia Beach, so I'm going to try to put out probably one or two toy hunt and toy vlogs of this area. Toy Meister is, it's a huge, huge uh, store of nostalgia. You walk in there and you just get lost. So I'm going to try to capture that again. Try to get close to picking up a grail. I don't think we're going to pick up a grail. Um,
You
and
never
then
know.
you never know, mom.
Eh,
You never know, and really that's it. And then looking forward to. Oh, I think Marsha and I are heading up to Charlotte in a couple weeks. So there's if any of you guys are watching, this is a plug for just if you're ever in the southeast and you get into the Charlotte area, there's like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 stores that are just phenomenal when it comes to vintage, modern, um, and the prices and all that stuff. There's so many awesome collectible stores just within 30-minute drive of the whole Charlotte area. So we're going to be going up there, and yeah, if there's toy stores, grab the camera and do a little video. So
absolutely.
other than that, man, that's it. And I really want to thank you um, for the invite. I really want to thank everybody in the chat and all of our subscribers, your channel, my channel combined, and of course a lot of the guys in the chat that have channels as well. We really couldn't, not so much couldn't do this. We could do this all we want, but it just gives it life when you can communicate, when you can have the great comments and the back and forth. And that's why in my videos I say, hey man, leave a comment. Let's start a dialogue
Right.
because
Right.
we're creating this, not creating, but we're continuing to enhance this community, with dialogue and stuff that we love. So thank you to everybody tuning in again tonight, and then of course I know in the future to mine and to Yukon Phil's channel. So just like I always say, man, just always got to enjoy that ride in life, and then
Absolutely, man.
just
Absolutely.
take care of
Having
yourself.
you
So
on was a no-brainer. Absolutely. So
thank
again,
you. I Many thanks.
absolutely, I appreciate you being able to do the reschedule and that sort of thing. So very, very cool. So thank you again, guys. Next week I will have Legacy a Nerd as my special guest. I'm going to run down a couple of other guys real quick. It's getting close to the holidays, so we will keep going for the next few weeks, and then working on a really big one for the 18th. We'll see if it happens. So I'm
There you go.
working on it. But Legacy and Nerd next week. Week after will be JMC, who's been in the chat. He will be on the 4th. The
Awesome,
11th
dude.
is T3. So we got a nice little lineup the next few weeks, and looking forward to talking with all these guys. JB, you you have a good
Well,
night, man.
you too, man. You take care of yourself, man. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Absolutely. All right. You guys have a good night. You guys in the chat, have a good one. Remember to subscribe to this man if you haven't. All right. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.